chance of never being fired in the public sector, a statistic which has prompted advocates for limited government to put pressure on lawmakers here in Washington.
One of the most indelible pieces of the swamp is in the civil service system, where you have a class of people who essentially are there regardless of who's in power. But the one thing that's constant is they want to keep their job, and they want to expand the number of people who are like them who have jobs. And so ultimately, that's the biggest challenge in draining the swamp, is that the swamp has a perpetual bureaucracy that promotes it.
Richard Manning, president of Americans for Limited Government, says this has resulted in a low separation rate within the public sector at 3.4%, and criticizes laws that seemingly overprotect these employees within the federal service.
Civil servants have a protection under the Hatch Act, which basically makes it so it's relatively difficult to fire them for political purposes. However, it also protects them if they don't do their job, if they're lazy, if they're incompetent, or if they're recalcitrant and effectively refuse to do their job. They're protected under those circumstances as well. They're even protected if they commit a crime while on the job.
And as time and complex union litigation typically dissuades management from removing these type of employees, Manning is pressing lawmakers to pass the Merit Act, which would expedite the removal process time in half.
You have so many positions that are allocated, and that's a fixed number. And if you have 10% of those people who aren't doing anything or are incompetent, at that juncture, the other 90% effectively have to pick up the slack for the 10%. You're not able to replace those bad employees with even average employees who'd be able to do something. And we're talking about people who make over $100,000 a year, who are essentially retired in place on the taxpayer dime, getting a full pension and earning a full pension and getting pay that most people in America could only dream of, and they're not earning their keep.
As of late, the Merit Act remains at Capitol Hill with co-sponsorships from 60 Republican members of Congress, but it is still currently under review.
The only question is, will the Republicans in Congress and the President of the United States have the will, the political will, to get it done? And that's why your viewers need to contact the White House. They can go to firetheswamp.com and find out all they want about it, and contact Congress and say they want this done.
Richard Manning, alongside with Project Veritas, has re-released a video on the basis of civil service reform, revealing government employees who have admittedly out in public neglected their federal service duties, knowing that it would be too costly for the federal government to effectively remove them. Gabrielle Cuccia, One America News, Washington.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand